There is a certain way to do calf muscle stretches to get the most out of that experience. So in today's video, I want to show you how to do what I would consider the perfect calf muscle stretch that will leave you feeling instantly looser than you were before. My name's Grant Frost, and I'm an Australian musculoskeletal physio who's on a mission to better understand the root causes of common aches, pains, and injuries that we all tend to suffer from. And through my experience as a physio, I want to show you what I've come to understand is the best way to stretch your tight calf muscles. So first and foremost, if you are someone whose versions of calf muscle stretches is literally throwing your calf behind you and leaning forward looking for a stretch, this may be helpful, but it isn't anywhere near as effective for me clinically as doing it off of a step. Now you can do this with shoes on, shoes off, whatever your feet feel comfortable doing. But the best way to do a calf stretch for me is off the edge of the step, gently letting your heel drop down as far as you feel comfortable. Again, nothing fancy to this, but the secret here is we don't just want you to drop down and expect that to be the best version of this stretch for you. What we need to do here is keeping your foot straight. We want to rotate your knee towards one side and rotate your knee towards the other side, effectively changing the angle of where your calf is stretching. As you rotate your knee and your leg outwards, you might find it hits more of the outside part of your calf. And obviously when you rotate your leg inwards, it might start to target the inner part of that calf as well. So your responsibility with this exercise is to go down as far as you feel comfortable and then just gently rotate around to find where you need to be to target where you feel the most tight and restricted. And like we do with any of these stretches, the best way to stretch this is not to just hold this and hope for the best. Clinically, you need to tense and activate that tightness wherever it is. Hold that for 5 to 10 seconds. Create a reflex in your brain that when you stop tensing, that tissue will physically give a little bit more than it did before, which means you may now be able to drop down into the stretch and twist around and find a different part of that stretch better than you could before. Repeat that same process, tense everything up, squeeze your glutes if you need to, tense everything in your leg, hold that for 5 to 10 seconds, relax, go further, and keep repeating that process. And using that idea, we can hunt around every aspect of your calf muscle to find what's the most meaningful for you and then get that tissue to release. Now, the second part of this equation is that I'm sure you may know this, but a lot of people don't realize is that your calf muscle is made up of two different muscles. We have your gastrocnemius muscle, which is the big iconic calf muscle that you often see on people, but we also have what's called your soleus muscle, which is down a little bit lower and it's deeper in your leg. So if you are someone who consistently stretches your tight calves by doing the standard gastrocnemius stretch with your legs straight, then if you aren't also bending your knee and doing the same thing, you could be missing that soleus tightness as well. So we want to transfer that across to the step. So same thing, instead of having your knee straight dropping down, we actually want to have as much of a bend in your knee as you feel comfortable. Now, the same thing applies. We can get you to rotate your knee outwards, rotate your knee inwards, go looking for the angle that you feel is the most restricted, and then again, try and tense everything up. You should feel this all the way down the base of your calf muscle as opposed to the heart of that gastroc that the first version of this did. Just be aware that when you bend your knee like this, you may feel it compress at the front of your ankle. If that is the case, you may need to do what we call the banded ankle stretch, of which I'll have another video coming out soon, but here'll be a link to one of the previous videos that I've done on the banded ankle stretch. You might need to free up the joint underneath all of that, free that up to give you more access to freeing up the soft tissue, the more superficial soft tissue tightness through that soleus muscle. And then what you should feel afterwards is you should feel that there is an immediate sense of increased mobility all the way through the back of your calf to a greater degree than maybe you may have done previously. If you found the video helpful, please consider leaving a like, subscribe to the channel if you want more videos like this from me. I'm in the process of trying to drop a new video every single day for the foreseeable future that goes through different exercises and stretches that I think people need to know and also need to know how to do most effectively. If you would like to become a member and you want to help support the channel for extended videos and more extra content like this from me, please consider doing that as well. But at the end of the day, I genuinely hope that that was helpful and insightful, and I'll see you tomorrow.